ECSI fans, you want to revolutionize your sports investing habits? Allow me to tell you about WagerWire. WagerWire is an app that helps you become a superior bettor by allowing you to sync all your sports books and track all your bets in one place. See your current action, your betting history, and stats. You could also sign up for sports books and collect bonus offers. Follow them at WagerWire on X, as it's the best account on the platform. Head to App Store or Play Store now and search WagerWire and download the app.
DJ.
Hey, check this out. We got a great show coming your way.
From the ECSI Sports Studios, it's the Midday Market Report with Jeff Dawson.
Good morning, sports fans from all around the globe. I am the host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and it's that time of the week for the Midday Market Report with good friend and colleague, Mr. Nick Hathcoat, talking Knicks Nuggets, what he has in store for everyone watching here live today in the NCAA football weekend. And of course, I was tweeting back and forth with him. Is this real? What the hell's going on? Had Matt Grissom on his usual spot yesterday. Can't wait to hear right from Nick, his thoughts on Tony V stepping into the bigs and what the temperature is in volunteer country, obviously for baseball, and his thoughts there. But first and foremost, excuse me, I got the hiccups. Shout out to our proud sponsors and partnerships. It's WagerWire. Head on over to Google Play, download the app. It is free. And of course, Atlanta Steaks and Seafood.com. Steaks, seafood, chops, appetizers, wines. Terry's got it all. Do yourself a favor. Trust me on this. Head on over to AtlantaSteaksandSeafood.com. Place an order today. Could be grilling as early as Sunday. So without further ado, let's bring him in. Mr. Nick Hathcoat. What's up, Nick?
Good morning, Jeff. How are you?
Well, I usually start with you. The Irish eyes are smiling in Notre Dame, but we got to talk here first.
Yeah.
Tennessee Vols, Tony V shocks the world. The first college coach in history to step his foot into the bigs. Matt's bottom line was, basically going to give it a shot in the majors for a few years until the Arkansas coach steps down. Then he's going to run back and come back to Arkansas. And happily ever after. Last week when the words were coming out, is it real, is it real, is it not? The dust is settled. Tony is now heading to San Francisco. Initial thoughts on the news and what's the temperature? Fall ball wrapping up and we got a spring ball coming soon.
Yeah, first thing I'll start by saying this. Tennessee fans that are mad at him need to stop. Like, that's one of those things where it's like, imagine you're in your job and all of a sudden the best job, like this crazy opportunity becomes available. Of course, you're going to be selfish about it and you deserve to be, he deserves to be. So that needs to stop because that's one of those things. It's a dream job. It's not even like it's the Miami Marlins or it's somebody where it's just like a bad job in the MLB. This is the San Francisco Giants who have a long storied history, a top probably 10, if not top 10, at least top half job in the MLB comes open. So yeah, you got to take it. Take your chance. It's obviously too early to tell if he's going to be successful or not. Only time will tell that. But the things I'll say, so pros are, obviously he's great with people. It doesn't matter if it's the kids here recruiting or with their parents. The AD, there's some stuff coming out there where there's some backstory with the AD there, but he's gotten along with everybody else at the institution. So he's great with people. Obviously, it's way different to coach 18 to 22-year-olds than it is 22-year-olds to 35-year-olds. And we'll see how much that kind of rah, the intensity that he's known for, how much that really makes a difference. But yeah, you can't blame him for taking that job. And the only thing, I guess the con is what made him such a good college coach was he's by far the best recruiter in the country. Like, I don't think anybody can dispute that, no matter if you're an Arkansas fan, a Florida fan, an LSU fan. He was by far the best recruiter. I mean, look what he did with Tennessee was nothing. Like, they were probably the bottom job, them in Kentucky in the SEC when he took over. And then, like I said, the rah-rah stuff is great for kids where it's when you play with that much emotion, and it's also only 56 games you do it for. And also half those games are non-conference games where they don't mean a ton. But then every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, he was extremely intense. Now, can you do that at the professional level when it's the middle of July and it's game 94 of 162? Can you get those 30-year-olds to say, why is this coach freaking out? Like, we're playing the San Diego Padres in July. If we lose this, who cares? Type of thing. So, like I said, only time will tell. There is what worries me as a Tennessee baseball fan is the fact that, yes, if this doesn't work, he will come back to college and he'll get basically any job he wants. And the timing is probably going to work out where it is going to be around the Arkansas, when Arkansas opens up, or whether like Schloss, if he doesn't get it done at Texas, like honestly, like solely at Florida. Like, there's just those things where it's only time will tell, like I keep saying. But yeah, I mean, he obviously has something that's hard for Arkansas eventually. So it could, if Tennessee also doesn't, maybe Tennessee doesn't work out in the next 3 or 4 years, and that's open again. He said it. He finally had a press conference, met with media this morning. He's keeping his house here. He's not selling it. Absolutely loves the state of Tennessee. He said he still plans on living here when he can. So I do think that opportunity is still open if Tennessee is not successful without it.
So many moving parts. I could talk just an hour about this. I talked to Scotty Webb today. Listen, the major league, I talk about like Alex Cora and how well he manages the bench, how well he manages the Dominican guys. There's just something there. Tony comes in, he coaches just the way I did. I was in your face. I was that rah-rah guy. Now, San Francisco, can you imagine this? Top of the ninth, hey, Raph, I need you to go grab your glove and play third. And then he turns around and Raph's just sitting there like, what are you talking? Nah. That was number one. Number two, the recruiting. I know how good of a recruiter is. I'm trying to dig deep and deeper, Nick. Is there someone out there that he's connected to in the free agent market this year that says, hey, let's take a shot? It's just mind-blowing because it's a great coach. I can't wait. I cannot wait to see it. I'm a huge Giant fan. They're my team in the National League. Is there someone out there in free agencies that he's connected to? I don't know.
Yeah, well, here's the thing is a lot of people do, and I didn't say it, but a lot of people do get kind of stuck on his recruiting and everything and why he's so successful. He's also brilliant when it comes through innings 1 through 9. Like, don't get that messed up. The moves he makes, the way he manages a bullpen, like everything Tennessee-wide, it's been insane the turnaround they've had. Now, the difference in kind of how you say it, like not just the Rafi example, but also being able to make certain moves. And because in college baseball, you need to win, like you try to win every game, especially every SEC game, and you go to the arms you have to go to. Now, if there is a guy in the bullpen who's making $40 million a year and he's already thrown 2 days in a row, you can't go get him again. It's just one of those things where you have to play for the long run. And then also, how much control is he going to have? Like, you look at a ton of these front offices, and like in the MLB, and it's not San Francisco, I don't know a ton about their front office. But for a Cardinals example, but maybe in a Cardinals fan, the managers have so little control over some of that stuff where it's like, hey, we want, like the GM or the front office says, hey, we want this guy in the lineup today. Or, hey, we want this guy to be the second guy out of the pen. Or we want this guy to be the setup guy for the next week because we want to see how he performs. So much of that is taken out of the manager's hands. We'll see what this means. But like I said, with and you say the recruiting stuff with free agency, everyone loves him. It is one of those things. People love playing for him. You hate playing against him unless he's on your side. But then even other coaches who like don't like playing against him still respect him. And it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I think there will be a couple players, and it might take a year or two where all the players once they start talking, they're like, this guy's amazing to play for. It might take a couple years, but no, I don't think off the bat they're going to be like, oh my gosh, all these guys want to sign there now because of Tony.
And it's funny because you're spot on about the managing. It used to be get to the ballpark 6 hours early, the lineups posted. Me as a coach, I'd sit there overnight. Who's playing? Who's not playing? What do I have available for arms in the bullpen? Where it's all done upstairs, analytics, the nerd department, the GM. Hey, by the way, Nick, you need to get him in and around the seventh here. The starting pitcher today can only go 75 pitches. We need this guy in at second base today. So a lot of that is taken away from you. Now with the rookie coach in the majors, I wonder how much of that will be taken away, number one. Or number two, being a first-time college to MLB, maybe it's more, hey, we're going to give you more just to see how you do, and then we might stop pulling some stuff away from you.
Yeah, I do think. Well, I know that him and Buster Posey have a great relationship, and that's kind of what led to this. So there is good that with him being the president of baseball, that hope. Like I think Buster will trust in him for sure, and then also having a relationship, like as you know, him and Drew Gilbert together basically lit the world on fire in college at Tennessee in 22, and now all the videos came out on their postseason run where guys are choking him in the dugout and he's biting sleeves and everything. And that is Tony's mentality as well. So now you get these two back together. Gilbert will do a good job of hopefully like telling the rest of the clubhouse, like, you guys trust it. Like, I love this guy, trust this guy. Apparently Gilbert was texting Buster Posey every day being like, get him, please get him. So obviously there is some backing there, obviously from a former player, but I think him having somebody who already knows him and appreciates him, like, and loves him, like Gilbert does in that locker room, I think will help.
I got a bone to pick with you. I had a great day going in football on Saturday, and I had the Notre Dame team total over 17.5 first half. You scored 2 quick touchdowns. You could run the ball like no tomorrow. You got first and goal from the 8. You run, and then on third down, your quarterback fakes the handoff and then decides to run backwards and do 38 pirouettes and then just throw it up for an intercept. What the bleep happened there?
Oh, my gosh. See, that was the worst game CJ Carr's had. And it kind of came out of nowhere. He's been so good all year. Ever since, like, we'll take the Miami game out of it because that's obviously a freshman starting a first game on the road, tough environment. Ever since then, he's been, I think his QBR is 7th in the country. So that interception came out of nowhere. Obviously, blame the kicker. I'm so sick of this freaking, like, college kickers drive me insane. They cost me 3 different bets in one day. College kickers. So it was a painful one, and they're on top of that. But yeah, I mean, Notre Dame's good to go. We kind of got hurt by Miami losing was a killer. And also just because now the ACC, there's a good chance they get 2 teams in instead of 1. That takes a spot up. So Notre Dame's still going to be, they should still get in, but we'll definitely be on the border somewhere around that 9 to 14 spot come Selection Sunday.
I'll ease your pain a little because I already have it mapped out for you. So I'll ease you. You're in because here's what's going to happen. If Miami sheets, Georgia Tech has a game at NC State. Other than that, they're going to sheet.
Yep.
Their last game of the year, they play at Georgia. Now, if they were to pick off Georgia, you're screwed because if you got a Miami-Georgia Tech ACC final, Miami wins, well, Georgia Tech's still going to be in with just 1 loss and have beating Georgia, okay? But the way this sets up, almost like SMU last year, Georgia Tech's going to come in with 1 loss, losing to Georgia. Miami's going to have their 1 loss. And now it's going to come down to the decision. Is it the winner goes in or, don't forget Miami was number 2 now. So if they only have the 1 loss, they're in, obviously, ACC title. If they have 2 losses and a hard-fought 1-point loss to Georgia Tech, do they get 2 teams in? You're in. You win out, you're in, Nick.
Well, here's the problem is there's a good chance Miami doesn't make the ACC championship game, even if they win out. They're still behind Virginia. Virginia still is undefeated in the conference. They're still behind Louisville, who now has that tiebreaker. They're still behind SMU, who would have to lose twice. So that's the problem is there's a good chance like the ACC championship is Georgia Tech versus one of those other 3 teams, and Miami's not even involved. So then it's, do you take does the ACC champion not get in Miami? Because Miami is probably in at 11-1, even if without an ACC championship. I think we can agree there. The problem is, do they leave out whoever wins that ACC championship game if it's Georgia Tech versus whether it's Louisville, whether it's Virginia with one loss, whether it's SMU? So that's where the problem becomes. So Notre Dame needs Virginia to lose, needs Louisville to lose, needs SMU to lose to kind of get some help and get Miami in that ACC championship game.
Well, like I said, and then if it came down to that, obviously Miami beat Notre Dame, but they beat them at the beginning of the year. It's, I don't want to go down the strength of schedule. I'm just telling you this. I don't have Biff's almanac, but like last year, I said, don't worry, just keep winning, and everything else will take care of itself. How's that sound?
I hope you're right. I like the sound of that.
All right, Knicks Nuggets this week. We got a handful here. Let me pull them up for everyone. What'd you see last weekend? Thoughts, surprises, SEC, big losses, upsets. I was on Minnesota on Friday, plus the 7.5 against Nebraska and the plus 270 on the money line. I sniffed that one out, the distraction or ruled the Penn State. I'd been going against Miami, meaning the opponent's team total over. Of course, it's the first week. I didn't take Louisville team total over. Would have had that done in the third quarter. What'd you see last weekend?
It was a great weekend of college football. And it was one of the crazy upset weekends that always happen. I believe, what was it? 8 ranked teams lost. Some of the surprises, Ole Miss is a lot better than I thought, at least offensively. I thought they, like that first half, it looked like they were all over Georgia. Probably should have won it. They just couldn't get a stop. So I think that was impressive. I think I'm interested to see what the committee is going to do with Texas Tech now. With that one loss and it being to Arizona State, it was on the road, and it was without their starting quarterback. So Behren Morton didn't play for Texas Tech, still had a chance to win, but didn't. Now, if they win the Big 12, they're still in. But if they get beat, they're out. That one's going to be interesting to me. That one said a lot. We already spoke about Notre Dame, USC. I think what that did, I think that eliminated the Big Ten from getting a fourth team in the 12-team playoff. I think now you're kind of looking at, unless all hell breaks loose the next 4 weeks, I think Ohio State's in, Indiana's in, Oregon's in. I think Michigan's done too much damage to themselves. USC now, even with those guys winning out, I can't see them getting in because, like I said, you have a chance of 2 ACC teams, probably still 1 Big 12, probably Notre Dame. Like I said, fingers crossed still. So then what it would be a 4th Big 10 team versus the 5th SEC team. We know where the committee leans that way, even if they have 3 losses versus, say, Michigan has 2 losses. So that's kind of one of those things there where I think that the USC game kind of eliminated the Big Ten from getting that 4th team. Vandy, we're going to talk about that in a second because that's one of my plays. They are the real deal, and it is no longer just a fun Diego Pavia story. It's this team, like the offensive line, defensive lines, kind of dominated LSU. LSU is known for putting defensive linemen and offensive linemen in the NFL every single year. And the way Vandy kind of handled them was very surprising. I know Diego Pavia gets all the talk, but this defense is for real. Now, do I think they're playoff real? We'll see. The rest of our schedule is not very friendly. I do think they can lose one more time and still get in, but they can't take 2 more losses. And then I guess the last one we'll kind of cover is because it's not in my plays. How good is A&M? They're one of those such up and down teams so far. We've seen their offense at their best against Notre Dame and what they did. And we've seen them at their worst against literally hard to get across the 50-yard line against Auburn, who Auburn obviously has a good defense, but it's not score 17 points against good. And so to barely beat Arkansas on the road, give up 42 points, and now you're traveling to Death Valley at night. That's going to be an interesting one to kind of keep a look on. And I know, like, everybody I've heard and read, and everybody is so split on that game. That couldn't be further than of a stay away for me, because I think A&M is the better team, but I also think Brian Kelly is coaching for his life. I think Death Valley at night is worth about 4 points. I think this is one of those scary things where this is LSU season is on the line. So that's a complete stay away and just watch and enjoy for me.
And you're so right. And it's for me, it seems like you're giving me LSU Death Valley season on the line, and you're giving me 2.5 if I want to buy the hook 3 points. And as you were talking that out, I'm almost to the point where if I'm going to get in there, I'm going to look at the first half and just enjoy the second half there. I want to go to one game before we get to your selections today. Season potentially on the line. Ole Miss left their heart between the hedges in Georgia, traveled to Oklahoma, Mateer back, couple weeks now back, got the sea legs back. I saw that number of 5.5 opener. Same number it was for Michigan, where the whole world was on Michigan. Oklahoma muscled their way. Now, listen, other than Ohio State, some people think Oklahoma has the best defense in the country. Well, what Matt Patricia and Ohio State has done is just second to none, but Oklahoma's defense is right there as well. Did Big Game Lane and Ole Miss leave it all between the hedges, or again, the loser of this game's got 2 losses, Nick?
Yeah, that's a huge question. Is like obviously that was such an important game for Lane and Ole Miss last week. Didn't finish how they wanted, but the offense looked impressive. Defense, is just atrocious right now. Arkansas put up a bunch on them. Georgia put up a bunch on them. So it's going to be interesting to see. For me, I think you take Ole Miss or nothing. I don't know how much to trust Oklahoma. John Mateer still hasn't looked like. Yes, they beat South Carolina easily last week, but it wasn't Mateer going crazy. It was the defense sacking Lenore Sellers a bunch. I think there was a punt return in that game. So I saw questions about statistically, Oklahoma's defense is the best in the country statistically. You said Ohio State. Ohio State's defense is better. I think that's bar none. Also, you look at the best quarterbacks and the best offenses that Ole Miss has faced is what, like Michigan and South Carolina. So are those the 2 best quarterbacks they've faced all season? So that's where it's kind of tough on me. Is like this is going to be the best test they've had, or the best offense at least that they've faced. So we'll see what this Oklahoma defense is really about. They do get pressure. I don't trust this Ole Miss offensive line a ton, and that could be where the game has changed. So yeah, this is another stay away. I would lean the under because I do like this Oklahoma defense. I'm not saying that Ole Miss is going to just go crazy on them, but I think Ole Miss can get 24, 27, somewhere around there. And Oklahoma's offense has still struggled, so I think it's going to be close. I think the total is pretty spot on though. I think there'll be around 50 points in this game. So I would lean the under, but yeah, this is another stay away from the side. It would be Ole Miss or nothing for me.
It's got that 27-23 feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. And it could be just somebody makes a bad turnover or there's a punt return. So it's going to come down to the end for sure.
Knicks Nuggets this week. What do we have here? North Texas team total over 42.5 tonight. It's funny because the South Alabama team, I've been chasing their team total. I stayed away yesterday, of course, and they get there. This North Texas team, another one that has been a thorn in my side here, but I love where your eyes are there. K-State, Kansas over 55 and a hook. Arkansas money line. Matt Grissom will love that. FAU plus 14.5. Vandy, Diego and company minus 2.5. That one, they were 2.5 point favorites against LSU, and now they come back 2.5 against Missouri. I have that game circled. Cincy minus 3.5. Love where your eyes are there. And Houston, Arizona State over 46 and a hook. Take it away, sir.
Yeah, North Texas over 42.5 team total. I wouldn't really watch that game tonight. The MLB World Series is on. There's plenty of other stuff to watch. Just lay it and leave it. This Charlotte defense is atrocious. North Texas is leading the country in points per game. I think they put up a 50 burger here. And I think they probably get to 30 in the first half. So it should be, as long as they don't pull all the starters and only score like 10 in the second half, this should be one that hits. Kansas State, Kansas over 55.5. You look at both these teams' last 5 games. They've hit this 8 out of the 10 total games. Both these teams are combined for. I really like both these offenses. I think Kansas State's is finally coming around. It still is not as good as we thought it was going to be to start the year, but still not bad. And plus, they just gave up, I believe it was 38 to TCU. I think Kansas will get their fair share here. I didn't want to touch either one of these sides because this is another one kind of like the BYU Utah game last week, where it's like anything can happen. Utah probably should have won that game. And I still hate that I was on that side, and they went for it on 4th down 3 different times in the red zone and didn't get any of them. So that was painful. I think this one ends up the same, where I can see rivalry like this with Sunflower Showdown go either way. I think there will just be points scored. So give it that way. Arkansas minus 110. I know Grissom will be happy. This is one of the few times I've actually been on Arkansas this year. This is kind of a combination of a play for Arkansas and a play against Auburn. I said it last week. I didn't play Mizzou, but I kind of wanted to because it felt like there was a quit factor in Auburn. Luckily, they didn't. They just aren't very good. It's one of those things. And after last week, the way that ended, another overtime loss, and their field goal kicker just missed another one. I think this is one where I think Hugh Freeze is done. I think the locker room is kind of done. So I think that now you're going on the road. It seems like an extremely reinvigorated Arkansas team with Bobby P back in control. I mean, like I said, they almost beat, like you look at what they've done. They almost beat a good Tennessee team on the road. They almost beat a very good A&M team. And now I think they get this. I don't think Auburn's offense can score enough points. Now, will they be able to score some because this Arkansas defense is awful? Yes. But I think Arkansas and Taylor Green will get their fair share. And I think they'll be able to win it here. Florida Atlantic plus 14.5 against Navy. Navy is undefeated on the year. Yes, I see that. That's what the public sees. What they don't see is their strength of schedule is 136th. They are also barely beating teams. We're talking about their 3 conference games. They've won by 10, 9, and I think 1. So this is one of those where Florida Atlantic hasn't been fantastic, but they are able to air it out. And Navy should be without their 2 starting corners in this one as well. So FAU should be able to get their points. It's also a service academy giving me 2 touchdowns. It should stay low scoring for the most part. So give me 14.5 there. That's one I just had to take. We just discussed Vandy. Kind of on the Mizzou side of things, we saw Pribula against Auburn last week, and that was their first road game. He looked nothing like he did at home for the first 5 games of the season. And now they're doing back-to-back road trips. Vanderbilt finally, college game day is in Nashville for Vandy. I think this will be as rowdy as that crowd of 40,000 can get in the construction site. I think Vandy will be up for it. So I think and you said it, you mentioned a minute ago, this is the exact same line against LSU. I think LSU is better in Missouri, personally. So if you're going to give me that exact same line, we just saw Mizzou beat LSU by 10. I think this one comes out the same way. Cincy minus 3.5. Can't trust Baylor on the road. Can't trust Baylor's defense. Might be as bad as Arkansas's, if not worse. Cincinnati is a dark horse. There's still nobody talking about him. It's kind of crazy that this team, there's a good chance that they went out and are in the Big 12 championship game, and they're still not being talked about. The problem is everybody saw them in that early week 1 game because it was that standalone Friday game, and it was neutral, but it was in Kansas City, right beside Nebraska. It was 80% Nebraska fans. So that's a road loss. That's not a bad loss. And ever since then, they've been just tearing teams apart. So I really love the Cincinnati team. And then Houston, Arizona State over 46.5 for the last one I have. Houston, Connor Wegman's kind of come back to life ever since leaving Texas A&M. Houston's looked good. Not great, but offensively they've been good. The problem here is I hope their offensive line can protect him enough against this Arizona State defensive line to put up like 20 or 25 here. And then Arizona State, anytime Sam Leavitt's healthy, this offense puts up points. I know Jordan Tyson's not playing for Arizona State, which is a big letdown. He's obviously, I think, going to be the first receiver taken in the draft, either first or second. It's kind of between him and Mekhi Lemon from USC. So I know they don't have him for this one, but I do trust Sam Leavitt, and I think there'll be some points here. So yeah, I think that 46.5 is just too low.
Well, again, I'll post these right up top here, guys. Again, North Texas team total over 42.5 this evening. K-State, Kansas over 55.5. Arkansas money line minus 110. FAU plus 14.5 against the Navy. Vanderbilt minus 2.5 against Mizzou. Cincy minus 3.5. And he ends with Houston, Arizona State over 46.5. And the return of Mr. Sam Levitt himself. Scroll has been going the whole time. Of course, Nick, everyone knows on X where to find you at Hathcoat 413 Insiders Football, NCAA Insiders. Tell them what else and where they can find all the good work.
Yeah, so obviously all of our plays are free for college football at Insiders FB. Between me, Matt, Smitty, and Q, we put plays on there every single week. We do early plays. I'll try to put stuff up for kind of during the week as we go along with certain plays as well. Especially as we're getting into Maction time of the year, and we finally got some midweek games going on. So yeah, I mean, that's the main place. Obviously, NCAA Insiders, there's a lot of stuff going on between Tony Vitello stuff. Kevin O'Sullivan from Florida just stepped away from the team as well for some personal issues. So there's some stories behind that. So that's where our NCAA Insider stuff is going on. So yeah, I think those are the main ways. Let me ask you this real quick. Do you have any plays for the World Series game tonight or leans?
You know, it's funny because we got kicked in the jimmies, Nick. Pre-flop, we had Seattle winning the American League, and we had two exactas. Seattle beating the Dodgers plus 1950, and the Dodgers beating Seattle plus 1350. I blame Dan Wilson. Listen, I'm a UConn guy. You don't pitch to George Springer, number one. Number two, you don't bring in that relief pitcher, number two. I just look at the end of the year. I said whether it's July 1st, August 1st, September 1st, it was October 1st when the light bulb would go on for this Dodgers team. 9-1 in the postseason, sweep the Reds. 3-1 versus the Phillies, and the best team in regular season, the Brewers, they sweep 4-0. Pitching matchups: Snell, Yamamoto. He's got Glasnow game 3, and he's got Ohtani game 4. What people aren't thinking between the onion leaves here is if in game 1 or 2 he needs someone to get him through 4, 5, 6, 7, he'll move Glasnow into that spot and then just move Ohtani up. On the other side, I think the Toronto coach is doing it right. Put the kid out there. Put your Savage out there. He's a dog. He's going to feed off of this crowd.
He was in college, too. He was one of our favorite pitchers for sure. He was a dog.
And you'll know early. You saw in the first game, he was electric. In his second game, he wasn't. And he comes back in the third game again. So no pressure pitching game 1, because if you're pitching game 2 and you're down 0-1, you got to win this one. So I got a gentleman's sweep, 4-1. I got maybe 4-2. It always seems to end on Halloween, the day before November 1st. So I say it this way, Nick. If you like the Jays, today's the day to take the Jays. So if you want to do some exactas, Dodgers 4-1, Dodgers 4-2, Dodgers lose game 1 and win the series. But again, Snell has been unhittable his last 3-4 starts. So that's my initial thoughts. Your thoughts?
Yeah, so I played one thing so far, and I play, and it's kind of on par with what you said. So I played Dodgers series minus 1.5. So basically, they either win 4-0, 4-1, 4-2. If they win any of those, and it was only minus 115, got it on DraftKings. I'm not sure what it still is now. But yeah, so we kind of have the same lean there. I think this Dodgers team is just kind of on a roll, but I think another way to look, and if they've priced out the number of Ohtani winning the MVP. Basically, I think I can't remember. It's crazy juiced. But I would say if it's not Ohtani, I think some looks here are Mookie Betts or Max Muncy that are like priced decently. So I don't hate little sprinkle on those as well. But if you do like Toronto, it's obviously because Vladdy continues to go off. So that'd be the way to go there.
Well, let me throw something back at you. How about the return and the revenge spot for Teoscar Hernandez?
I like it, but he hasn't been great this postseason. And I think his name, he also as big. Like if he's on a different team, yes. But I think everybody in the country, whether you're an MLB fan or not, you know the name Shohei, you know Freddie Freeman, you know Mookie Betts. So it's like all those kind of like I think so much goes into it, especially when like the World Series MVP gets like fans can vote on it. Like fans put up a specific percentage of like who wins the World Series MVP. So I think a lot of those bets will go to the most popular guys. So unless Teoscar just goes nuts in the 4 or 5 games, I don't hate it because of the number, but I just don't. I think that one's unlikely, and that's why I also said Max Muncy is kind of the dark horse one because he's more of like the Schwarber type, where it's like he might get hot for 4 or 5 games, and that results in 6 home runs. So that's kind of one of those where it's like dark horse wise, Muncy, my side of things.
Well, we can't wait. Nick will be back next Friday at same spot, same bat channel. Go follow him at Hathcoat 413 NCAA. I'm sorry, Insiders FB, and of course NCAA Insiders. To everyone watching and listening, I can't thank you guys enough. It's been another amazing week here at the ECSI Media Group and of course EC Sports Invest. Enjoy yourselves. You got the World Series tonight. You got some college football. You got some NHL. Some 3-letter words called the N, the B, and the A, and we'll stay away from that. We'll let ESPN, Fox, and everyone else. You can't wait till all the scandals come out there. So for myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest, the one and only Mr. Nick Hathcoat at Hathcoat 413. We wish everyone a blessed day. Enjoy yourself. The weekend's here, guys, and stay tuned.